Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Obsessed with the Process. Today's an early one. I actually woke up way before my alarm. So it is 10 to 4. And once I'm awake, I'm awake. So we're up, we're going to get in for cardio, in for steps, and start the day a little bit earlier. Now, probably part to play with the sleep. We've got a mega exciting day today, guys. Something that I've wanted to do for as long as I can remember. We're making a reality today. So that's happening at 12 o'clock. So I'm going to bring you guys along for that. And it's going to be a progressive, I don't want to say side avenue, because it's all interlinked with everything that we're doing. But it's going to be a journey that, again, I can bring you guys along. So I thought, get it filmed today of the opening, and then we can start building from there. Plus, that was a little bit of a cue, or clue, not clue. It's early, guys. That was a clue, not cue. You can tell I was programming last night. But yeah, we got steps this morning, cardio, abs, so a nice little round. We're then back in for pull. We've got Friday check-ins, which are going to be rolling in probably around 5. So I like to start Fridays a little bit earlier, as again, the time zone differences of check-ins for Fridays are quite vast. So I like to get ahead of the game for those, so that again, we can just have meal timings, training, everything on point. If you haven't seen already via, it was Wednesday's Instagram post, Trained by JP sponsorship. That was just unreal. Like, the opportunity for that is huge. If you swipe on the second post of that post, you'll see was the original date that I signed up to the subscription site. Update on the diet. We're another 4 pounds down since last time I filmed one of these. Or I can confidently say, this is the biggest, leanest, and easiest I've ever found a diet. Genuinely in the best position possible right now. And it leads me to a quote that I read the other day, and I want to share it with you guys because it's so true. And it was framed as, prep doesn't fix a week off season, it exposes it. And that goes for any diet, not just prep and off season. What you do or how you conduct yourself in an off season phase, from the routine to the meal timings to just the metabolic rate that you build to via the training increases, allows you or qualifies you to have a smoother diet given things are right. Off season or building phases aren't a time to get lazy. If anything, they're a time to make things more structured so that when you then next diet, it's the smoothest process you've ever done. As we always say, hard now, easy later, not easy now, hard later. Let's get going, guys. So even when I was in prep, I don't think I've ever been in the gym at this time in the morning. So I wonder if we're going to be empty. Cardio might be different, but we're ready to get started today, guys. We're feeling good, we're feeling focused. It's going to be a mega day. Yep, full cardio room to ourselves. "40 minutes nearly done." And something I was thinking about, guys, the TV gave me inspiration for this talk. I always think what you concern yourself with shapes your days and shapes your world. I've always been ultra focused within certain specific areas, and it works extremely well in some regards, and I can also see the negatives to it as well. But being ultra focused on one specific goal or one specific task makes you extremely productive at that one task or at that one goal. And the success rate when you can be concerned by only that one thing makes the likelihood of you achieving it so much higher. So let's take any extreme focus driven sport. It is the only thing that athlete thinks about. From the minute that they wake to the minute that they sleep, it is the only thing that they concern themselves with. And again, as I said, it makes you ultra competitive within that one focus. And this is why it's likely deemed as selfish when you see like any high-end athlete, because they're able to channel everything into that. And they can block out anything external or even things which could still be deemed important in their life. They just become numb to it because they're ultra focused within that one endeavor. And the news gave me that inspiration for this talk because, again, as I said, I've never ever been concerned with anything that's going on outside of the bubble of what I want and what I want to achieve and the people that I'm working with and the people that are in my circle. If it doesn't align with the goal and the vision, then I'm very good at blocking that out and being ultra focused on that one thing. Minimizing distractions, keeping laser focused towards one thing makes you extremely successful within that one focus. So yeah, don't concern yourself with the news. So I actually forgot to start with meal one. Not that it's changed much from when you guys last saw it, but we're still on 150 core, 60 whey, 100 fruit, and 15 fat. So I do around 10 nut butter and around 5 dark chocolate. So that is meal one, going in at, I believe, 6. Yeah, nearly 6 o'clock. A little bit earlier than usual today, but I'm going to be training earlier, so timing doesn't make too much of a difference given the training time shifted forward. So we're going to get this in. Check-ins have just started to roll in, and then we're going to crack on with some work. Here we go, guys. En route to pick up the keys. And I wonder how many of you have guessed yet via the thumbnail or anything I've mentioned in the video so far. So I reckon by the next clip, I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of the lab. So here we go, guys. Welcome to the lab. Back to the first lockdown. Me and Dan put together, we called it the Grow Barn, and we collected different pieces of equipment all from all around the UK. And it was one of the most productive and fun training blocks that we ever had. So we decided to get a little unit, this one initially together as a leg room and a posing room. So exciting things to come, guys. So first piece in, of course, we've got the banner. I've got this for the Star Trek leg extension that I've got at ours, as that range of motion isn't quite that good in the lengthen. So just obviously hustler to get a little bit more range of motion for that. Plan is just to have stage pictures on the walls. I can't get this camera right, hold on. Right, stage pictures on the walls, pro cards with some additional photos in there. So we have like we'll call it the Precision Wall of Fame here. So it's training time, guys. We've got Paul on the cards today, and this session's a really nice one. We're going to start with a mid to low lat row, then a high to low lat row, then upper back, rear delts, a little bit of arms. It's the second pull session of the week. So again, it doesn't need to be crazy amounts when it comes to volume, just literally high quality focus work. And Factory over time has become, in my opinion, one of the best gyms for pull in terms of the selection of kit for each body part. So what should I say, each area of your back. So it allows the session to be ultra efficient, as you're not having to set up cables or manipulate much to get the job done. You can literally do what you need to in terms of pull exercises. So I'm going to work through the session one by one. I don't know how much talking we'll get, but we'll definitely get some training footage. One thing that I've been experimenting with a lot through this diet phase is, I'll break this down into two sections. The first one is caffeine intake. I've really tried to be as low as possible when it comes to overall caffeine intake. And more so, again, just seeing everything that we do through diets as a tool, right? Caffeine is a tool, and especially when we're dieting and the food's coming down, I'm trying to be really selective of when I actually need that energy push. And I think to some degree, it's easy to just mistake what you're doing as a low energy task, thinking it needs caffeine when it really doesn't require it. For instance, steps or movement. You do not need caffeine or stimulants to move. Like, you can just move. I'm a big believer that energy creates energy. So if you move, that will raise your energy levels. So throughout this whole phase, I've tried to be really selective when I need that caffeine. So example, I've used it around some later leg days, or like one odd session through the week where I needed it, which was push. So I've again just tried to be really selective of when I've needed it, as I haven't then felt overstimulated. The sessions that I have used it have been more productive, and I just feel overall a lot more consistent across the day, rather than having kind of like huge peaks and troughs when it comes to energy. Now, alongside that, the second part to this is, again, looking to apply the same strategy to things along the lines of pump products. Cialis I've been experimenting with this time. and just really trying to use it on the sessions where I feel like I need it most, especially at pushing points when it comes to condition. So when we're in phases where, let's say, like we've run consecutive seven to 8 days without any high days or refeeds, and I can feel the contraction within the muscle just isn't the same progressively across the space of a training week, then looking to utilize pump products on certain body parts that I feel like I need it to be able to maintain the same level of performance without having to take either a hit in form or use food as a bump there to get that training performance higher. So just been experimenting with a few different things, and it's something that I'm definitely becoming more and more, I'm definitely getting very good at now when it comes to managing a diet process to ultimately retain as much strength as possible through any given time. So yeah, a couple of pre-session ramble thoughts there, but hopefully it's useful for anybody that's going through diet phases or even thinking of prepping, because I always say diet phases when everything for me is prep. Everything for me is preparation for the next time I'll step on stage. For me, there's not really although there's an off season, although there's different phases which coexist inside a prep, I am still prepping for the next time I step on stage. Like the diet that I do is with the same intent. The off season training sessions are to the same intent. For me, there's no separation between the accuracy of the actions that I do, because again, it's all based on prepping for the next time I step on stage. It's not a case that we have like an on and an off switch. Every action is compounding towards that next stage look. So we are about 2 minutes away from the gym. Gonna pull up, get warming up, and set up the tripod. Yes. Such a good piece there. Don't ever need a spot on any of these. If you do, you're doing it wrong. Let's see how things are looking. Good morning, guys. So I didn't get to wrap up yesterday's vlog as we had a power cut, so check-ins got a little bit delayed, and I also had to travel to Cambridge as I'm seeing Jess today for another episode of the Athlete Series. So as it stands, we're currently in an Airbnb in Cambridge, doing some work this morning, coffee on the go, and getting ready to head down to the gym for around 12 o'clock. We're going to be running through Jess's Delta and Quad session and also seeing her in person, which I haven't seen her since, I believe it was 2 weeks post-show. So it's going to be really good to see the improvements that we made as we are prepping again this year. So that time frame from the minute she stepped off stage up until we next prep has literally been so meticulous. We've still been checking in 3 times a week, training videos after every session, just making sure we can really solidify on all the 1% improvements to make this season's prep the one where we hopefully get across the line.